so glad that you all are here today with us. We are going to be talking about our spark and what makes us come alive. And so I'm Amy Radquist Cadet here with my colleague Jackie Hansen, Carol. We are health and wellness coaches and wellness specialists with UKHR Health and Wellness. And we are so delighted that you are here with us today. So we are going to kind of bookend our talk around spark and aliveness and true fun with a meditation to get us started and just kind of help us center in. And then we'll do another mindfulness meditation at the end to really help us kind of close out and integrate everything that we'll be talking about today. So Jack, take it away.
All right. One of my favorite meditations is where you sit and your eyes are open and you look at a candle flame or even a fire in your fireplace. And I was just thinking this picture, this image that's on the screen of the sparkler. I'm going to invite you to sit back and get comfortable and eventually close your eyes, but maybe just take a couple breaths and just look at that sparkler and that light and color and flame and memories maybe associated with that image, and then settle into your breath. Then settle into closing your eyes. And once you have centered yourself or really invited in that image of a spark, that aliveness, that flame, that joy, the excitement. And almost like if the sparkler had a way to find it in your body, where do you feel the spark in your body? Could be you feel it in your gut, like you get so excited. Maybe you feel it in your heart. Either way, where do you feel in your body excitement, adventure, pleasure, laughter? And then once you've found it in your body, if there's a way that you want to kind of acknowledge that place, maybe placing your hands on your heart or on your belly, just honoring that amazing spark, that amazing aliveness and truth that literally comes alive when you show up in your best self. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, allowing the to-dos of the day, allowing the maybe burden or chaos of the day to just fall to the wayside, and just imagine that you are just lit up with joy, potential, adventure, smiling. Even if it's something we can't hold forever, we can hold it for a moment. And then when you're ready, keeping your gaze down, holding that feeling of aliveness and light as you gently let your eyes open. imagining that this spark, this light, this fun and joy and excitement can be held for at least the next 20 minutes. Thank you all for joining, for taking great care of yourself, and for tuning in to us today.
Thanks, Jack. Oh, I love that imagery of connecting in with that internal spark. And that's where we're going to spend the next 25 minutes or so, really looking at the work that came from Catherine Price's book that talks about true fun, that talks about aliveness. So, how about this as a place to begin? All right, let's start here, right? So I'm just going to start with some queries because as I read this for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, that's me. So first of all, friends, do you remember how to feel alive? Maybe yes, maybe no. Do you feel connected to the people who bring you joy? Do you remember the last time you actually laughed out loud? How about, do you often find yourself sighing audibly as you say things like, oh, what time is it anyway? How about, when was the last time you laughed? And was it in response to something on your phone? Yes. How about doom scrolling? Guilty. Is that maybe the only new hobby you've picked up in the last year? Yeah. How about, do you remember the last time you did something for fun that was not delivered to you through your screen? Do you remember the last time that surprised or delighted you? And P.S., memes don't count. How about, do you often have experiences that leave you feeling joyful and energized and refreshed? So there was probably a combination of yeses and maybe a lot of nos in there. But when I read through this, I just felt this sense of like, I want more aliveness. I want more spark. I want to connect with that part of me that has been more vivacious, more energized in the past, but that I am seeing a lot less of in myself, especially over the last 2.5 years, right? I don't know about you, but the pandemic did a lot to diminish and like put out some spark and some flame. And so when Jacob kind of brought this idea of spark and well-being to our wellness team, I was really intrigued. And I went out and I got Catherine Price's book and found that there was so much richness. And we're going to talk about how to kind of move forward with her work. But before we do, let's find out a little bit more about what is this spark that we're talking about here. So this spark is what Catherine Price determines as true fun. And she is determined that this true fun, this spark, this aliveness that we're seeking really has this trifecta of 3 elements being brought together: playfulness, connection, and flow. And when those things join together, we have the elements of this spark, of this true fun in front of us. So research suggests that these 3 states of playfulness, connection, and flow improve our health, increase our connection, and amplify our sense of meaning and purpose. And I know for me, that is something I am longing for more of as a way to kind of build resilience through these really hard times that have left me, at least, feeling pretty depleted and lackluster, and just this sense of like, just this lethargy and kind of dread. And I know when Jacob first brought this idea to us, I was like, really, dude? I mean, Jacob, I know you're on this class. I'm going to be real. But like, fun, like who in their right mind has time for fun? Like the world is a dumpster fire. I am so tired. Like, I can't. What is this? Fun is like what happens when the rest of life is going okay. And what Catherine Price's work suggests is that actually, when we're able to tap into this aliveness, we're able to meet our life, we're able to meet the difficulties of the overwhelm, the despair, the fear, the disconnection, with more resilience and more connection. So, let's delve in a little bit on how you can experience more of this aliveness, more of this true fun. So, Catherine Price says, whenever playfulness, connection, and flow occur at the same time, we spark true fun. And this is what we're talking about. True fun may feel a little bit like this. So here are like the ingredients that might kind of indicate for you, oh, there's some magical trifecta of true fun happening. Laughter is a huge indicator. A sense of release, freedom, really feeling like you're able to be just truly free and letting go. Feeling like you're having a special shared experience. Like this isn't just everyday ho hum rote living, but there's something a little bit more magical happening. Losing track of time, feeling free from self judgment and self consciousness, feeling like you've temporarily stepped out of normal life, feeling fully absorbed and present, kind of like you're in the zone, not caring too much about the outcome, not being so attached in how it's going to turn out or in like this fierce competition, feeling a childlike excitement and joy, a positive boost in energy. So after you're done doing whatever it is that you're doing, you feel more lit up, you feel more alive, and you feel more yourself. Kind of that internal spark that Jackie was talking about, this best of you. That's what shows up when things are sparking. So I'm interested, like, type in the comments right now. I'd love to hear what are things, activities, moments that spark for you. Maybe if you can't think about anything in the last 3 months that maybe has been on this list, I'd love to hear about maybe what sparked for you as a kid. Ideally, tell me about that some sparks for you as an adult, but yeah, what sparks for you? Let us know. Love to hear. Music for sure. Yeah, yeah. Movies, dinner, friends, connection, zip lining. Oh, Lynn, that sounds so fun. Playing with grandchildren, hiking, visiting with my parents at their home. Beautiful. What else? What else sparks for you? Smelling flowers. Beautiful. Singing and dancing, even though I'm not awesome at either. Absolutely, absolutely. Happy hour, kissing chubby baby cheeks. Yes, yes, yes. Funny of me too. What else? What else sparks for you? What else lights you up? What else just feels so alive? Honey's into all of these. Yeah, me too. These are all really, really good. Animals definitely sparks for me. Water, anything in the water, I feel very alive. Yep, Jennifer, we're in the zone. Yep, the cat. Animals are a really, really great way to spark. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the list? A good musical performance. Ooh, for sure. For sure. All right, so keep these things top of mind. Being in nature, being with friends. Yeah, Miguel, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Just these moments of connection, and both nature and community are huge ways of connecting. Anybody else before I move on? Don't want to go too quick. Significant other. Yeah, yeah. Our partners, the people we love, people that we're in relationships with, both romantic and just platonic, powerful ways of connecting, sparking, especially when we feel safe in them. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So This is what I mean by the three kind of states of true fun. So let's get our terms right, shall we? Playfulness. Catherine Price talks about this as a spirit of lightheartedness, that freedom of doing an activity just for the sake of doing the activity and not caring too much about the outcome. When we're being playful, we don't mind if there's a tangible reward, right? And playfulness creates this sense of being outside your normal reality. You're relieved of your everyday responsibility. You feel carefree. You smile. You laugh easily. There's just a lightness there. We see kids do this all the time. And when I think about me at my most playful, it's definitely when I think about it a long time ago, right? It was so easy to be playful. And Catherine Price talks about, yeah, the loss of that. And some of that is for very practical reasons, right? Um, Being an adult and having to adult in the real world, playfulness is one of those things that easily slips away. Connection. Some of you, a lot of you mentioned this, right? The feeling of having a special shared experience with someone or something. So that idea of connection can occur in nature, with an animal, having a feeling of connection in your own body for sure. Most often, though, according to Catherine Price, it's usually with another person or people, joining together with someone at the same time while feeling yourself, which is huge, right? That there's a sense, even in this place of connection, that you maintain your individuality and that you are safe to be who you are. And then that last bit is around flow. Flow is this idea of being truly and totally engaged and immersed in your present experience to the point that you often lose track of time. Maybe you started out to do something and you look at the clock and maybe it's like an hour later than what you thought it was going to be, right? Flow is like when you are in this zone without being distracted. When you're having fun, you get lost in a project or conversation, you're engaged and enlivened. This comes from the research work of Dr. Csikszentmihalyi, and he talks about really being in this sacred intersection of kind of mindfulness and action, meaning that you've got a task or an activity at hand. It's not so hard that you feel overwhelmed. And it's not so easy that you're bored or you become disengaged. It's really this magical sweet spot where you can come alive and stay focused and present. So, how do we get more of this? So, here are 4 ways to kind of grow the spark in your life. Number 1 is to pay attention and to keep a spark journal. So, this is, I kind of think of the spark journal as like a combination between kind of spark spotting and gratitude. They really have this beautiful convergence. And it's this idea that throughout your day, you are going to pay attention to where playfulness, connection, and flow show up. And then at the end of the day, you're going to write down, and this is the part that helps your brain hook, right? It's the part, because of our negativity bias, positive experiences slide off our brain like Teflon, and negative experiences stick to our brain like Velcro, right? So the Spark Journal helps to take these positive experiences of playfulness, connection, and flow and hook them into our brain. So you want to write down what do you want to remember? Where were there moments of connection and this playfulness and flow, and label them as such, right? Write down what you were doing, who you were with, and where you were. And this doesn't have to be like a long journal entry. In fact, you want it to be like short and sweet, right? But you also want to make sure that you label each of these activities with a P for playfulness, a C for connection, and an F for flow. Another thing that Catherine Price suggests is to pay attention to if there are any devices that you were using or were on when you were having these moments of spark. So for instance, we had a moment of spark this past weekend and we were having a little dance party in the house, and I have twin toddlers and I also have a teenager. And so to try to find moments where like all three of them are together and actually like enjoying what's happening, let me tell you, it is few and far between. But for this one moment, we were all kind of dancing to Prince and it was so fun. And I just like stopped and I took this mental picture. And in that moment, there were all three. It was like this trifecta. It was playful. There was times of connection and laughter, and we were just like a hot mess, just flailing around the kitchen, being so silly. And there was flow, like we were all into it in the zone. And so that would definitely be a moment that you could put in your Spark journal, but you don't have to have all three things for it to be worthy of an entry, right? Especially notice if you're looking for more of something. I find for me personally, it's easier to capture moments of connection and flow. I struggle more with the playfulness. And so that is something that I've been noticing within myself and wanting to grow as I kind of flex this muscle of kind of creative fun. Another idea is to know your fun magnets. So Catherine Price talks about knowing who are the people, what are the activities, and what are the settings that spark fun for you. My husband loves strategy games. Like this guy could play chess till the day is long. Not my idea of fun, right? I love to get dressed up in costumes and to just like go and just kind of be silly. I've been known to ride around my neighborhood in a banana costume. True story. That for many introverts would be like your worst nightmare, right? So know what sparks for you. Pay attention to what is a good fit for you. You also want to notice kind of all of those factors that are also not fun. And so on the next slide, I'm going to show you kind of how you can get a little bit more clarity on knowing what your fun magnets are. Next, limit your list. This is a great idea if you are feeling kind of stuck, feeling overwhelmed. Catherine Price suggests making a daily list of not to-dos. We're really, really good at having to-do lists, right? What she's suggesting is that in order to make space for more fun, for more connection, for more flow, for more playfulness, we need to stop doing some stuff. And we're going to talk about that next. But this idea of being intentional about what are time zapping activities and deciding not to let them hijack your day. So she lists a few ideas of limiting your lists in the book. So I try to almost every day, just in my planner, write down my list of not to-dos for the day. So most recently, I promised myself I was not going to look on Facebook Marketplace for at least 2 days. I've been on this mad and frenzied search for a dresser. I'm not even going to get into it, but it's making me mental because I haven't found what I needed. And I've noticed I'm just spending way too much time on it. All right. I need to give myself a break from that. Instagram and fake fun, major time sucks for me. Fake fun is this idea of kind of marketed fun, these moments where we are feeling, a lot of times in social media in particular, we're feeling less connected, we're feeling less engaged, right? So these things that we think are going to feel fun, but at the end actually have us feeling worse than we did before we were started. Another thing that I've had to do is not get into despair. Things have been really rough in the news, right? And I can find myself doom scrolling. And so putting some boundaries on that for me, keeping track of what my to-do lists are, as well as my not to-do lists. So notice, where do you have these time zapping activities that are actually making you feel worse? Screen life balance. This is a huge one. There is no way to make room for connection and playfulness and fun when we are feeling totally sabotaged by our phones, right? And I know that for me, this was a big one in getting some time back into my life. And I'm not talking about no longer being on our smartphones. Our smartphones are here to stay. They add a lot of goodness in our life. They're a necessity. But I was feeling more out of control, like my phone was more in control than I was in control. So Catherine Price wrote another book called How to Break Up with Your Phone. And I would suggest that if you're noticing that you're really not feeling like you got a lot of screen life balance, check out this work and this website, phonebreakup.com. She's got a free 3-day program that is going to help you get more intentional about how you use your phone. And I've done it 4 times. The first 2 I quit. True story. I've tried it 4 times. The first 2 times I quit. It was too hard. I wasn't ready. And then the last 2 times, I've found it to be incredibly helpful. And it's been, a really, really eye-opening way to feel more in line and in balance with how I use my phone. So definitely check it out. So where do you go from here? Number 1, take the quiz. It is a fun compatibility quiz. We've got it on our health and wellness website. Jacob's going to put it in the chat as well. This is a really great clarifying tool that is going to help you determine what sparks fun for you, what sparks connection, what sparks playfulness, and what doesn't, because it is so helpful to know not only what works, but also what doesn't work. Number 2, begin somewhere. Where do you want to start with this? Don't do all of the things, right? It can be too overwhelming. Start somewhere. A Spark journal, the fun magnet. Limit your list, screen life balance. Read Catherine Price's The Power of Fun. It's a great way to start. Listen to it, get it on the library. It's awesome. Lastly, reach out for support. Jackie and I love to support folks to spark more aliveness in their life. So reach out for a free 60-minute consult. Or if you're looking for long-term support, Jack and I love to work with folks anywhere from like 2 to 10 sessions as a health coach. This is what we love to do together, and would love to support you if you're looking for more tangible support. And lastly, we don't need to pack more activities into our already full schedules. That's a recipe for exhaustion. We begin by paying attention, by noticing moments of playfulness and connection and flow, that they are already occurring so that we can appreciate them. Many of us are already having more micro moments of fun than we realize. And so if you walk away with nothing else, begin to notice, where is playfulness showing up for you? Where is connection showing up? Where is flow? And how can you harness more of that without adding kind of more things to the list? Jack, do you want to close it out for us?
All right. So now we have another image to focus on. And truly, each one of us is brought into this world with this innate gift and desires and aliveness. And most of us, as we become adults, we forget, or we don't give ourselves permission to have fun. So I'm just going to ask you to close out with this meditation with a gentle smile on your face and close your eyes, maybe even placing your hands on your heart. And just say to yourself, I know I deserve fun. I know I deserve connection. I know I deserve to feel alive. Let's say it one more time. I know I deserve fun. I know I deserve connection. And I know I deserve flow. Take a nice deep breath in. And slowly exhale out. And just giggle to yourself before you open your eyes. Just giggle, smile even more. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. I really do wish you all more time to not be so adultish. And whatever it takes, do that. We are here for you if you want to meet with us, or if you want to just send us an email and tell us, hey, I tried blowing bubbles over the weekend, or I tried, dancing in my office, whatever it is. It's good for your soul and ours to hear from you. So thank you for taking good care of yourself today by doing something other than your regular work and adding a little spice to your life.
Hey, everybody, we're so glad that you joined us today. And like Jack said, if we can support you in any way, reach out. Jacob's got some links there. And we would also encourage you to just pay attention to the other well-being activities. Jacob has divided it into 3 weeks this year. So each week is concentrated on one of these states of true fun. So this week is dedicated to playfulness, next week, connection, and the week after that, flow. So let us know. Check out those activities. We'd love to see you around campus and support you in any way that we can. Thanks for being here. We'll stick around if anybody has any questions. We know we're at the top of the hour, so head on out as you need to. But yeah, thanks for being here, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.